All right, on today's episode of Python Papi, we're back inside our smart contracts project. Let's have a look at what we went over today. Now, yesterday, if you recall, we actually finished up the L1, L2 roll-ups module. Today, we're going to be starting the ZK Sync transactions module. So in this section, we will be going over the steps to create our first transaction using the ZK Sync. We will be making our first transaction on the ZK Sync testnet. The ZK testnet is sometimes called the ZK Sepolia or ZK Sync error testnet. We'll use these terms interchangeably, but we're all referring to the same thing. Now, some of the things we do in this section are going to be repeated. We went over these steps in the Ether scan, so it's basically this not basically the same, but some of the steps are going to be the same on both networks, so they may look familiar, which is good for the repetition because repetition is good for learning. So the first thing we would do is add ZK Sync Sepolia to our MetaMask so we can see the transaction summaries, see our balances, and other things of that nature. And this is how we will add the ZK Sync to our MetaMask account. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the chainlist.org and make sure we have to include the testnets box checked and then search for ZK Sync error testnet. Now, actually, I'm not going to actually go through all the steps of this because I can't show you because I have the MetaMask on my cell phone. I don't have it on my laptop. For some reason, it wasn't taken to the laptop, so I can't show you exactly what I was doing. But basically, it's the same thing we did with the Ether scan. I did show you guys a video of the Ether scan going through when making a test net or a test transaction on the Sepolia network. It's the same thing in a sense. Only difference is that the Ether scan and the ZK Sync have their own test nets and their own networks. So the ZK Sync has its own scan. So like the Ether scan has its own Ether scan where you can see transactions. The ZK Sync is a ZK Sync scan. It has its own transactions and you can see its own summaries and balances and histories of transactions. So that's the only difference is there are two different chains or two different networks. Like I stated, so the Ether scan, you'll be able to see all of the transactions and the histories of transactions on that particular network. And the ZK Sync has its own scan where you can see all the history of all of the transactions and history of all of the things that's happening on that particular network. So I may go ahead and make a video on my cell phone and do it that way and upload it separately. Like I said, I won't be able to do it here because it's not on my actual laptop, so I can't actually show you. But yeah, that's where we're at in this module, and we did take a lot of notes. Let me scroll down so I can show you. So you can see we did get pretty far here, and we didn't actually get into it because it is a little bit more. We have to do some bridging, and bridging refers to us bringing our tokens, our test tokens from one network, bridging it to another, and then bring it to our actual wallet. But we'll get into that in more detail when I actually upload the video from my cell phone so I can explain to you as I actually do it, the process. But of course, I will keep you posted every step of the way. For now, it's the Python Poppy. You guys stay Gucci.